YouTube. It's Christine with Souls Arising, jumping on with some oracle messages. This video is for the sign of Leo. So if you have a Leo, sun, moon, or rising, stick around. This is a timeless message. So whenever it finds you, it is the right time for you to hear it. It is a collective message. So of course, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So let's jump right in. I'm going to pull some oracle cards and then we'll jump over to the tarot for more detail. All right, Leo, let's jump in. I'm going to show you the cards that we got here. We have Starry Night, Acceptance, and I did hear long dark night of the soul for some of you. So some of my Leos out there, this card may be representing a little bit of a dark night of the soul experience that you've been going through, either you or maybe somebody close or connected to you. And I do feel that this is coming to an end. So if this resonates for you, the dark night of the soul piece makes sense for you, understand that it's almost over. It's about to wrap up. You know, I keep seeing this shooting star in the background, and I feel like there's a little magic afoot in the situation. For the rest of my Leos, I feel like you may have actually just been in the dark about something. So almost like something you couldn't see about your situation, or for some maybe didn't want to even look at or see about the situation. And you're coming now into a spirit of awareness or acceptance, and that is opening up some new doorways, I feel like. And ultimately this is going to open up so that more light can come in, or so that light can be can shine on the situation and show you the truth or show you the way forward. So some of you may have been kind of just feeling like you lost your footing a bit, or you just weren't quite sure where a situation was going, and you kind of maybe were almost forced into a situation of having to just accept the unknown. You know, it's kind of a mysterious card, the Starry Night. And you know, in the night sky, you know, sailors always had to use the North Star to guide them, right? So some of you really may have had to go within and listen to your intuition to get through a situation to guide you without really knowing where you were being led or where you were going, okay? Just kind of having to follow the magical signs of the universe for a little bit without fully understanding why or where spirit was taking you with something. And then we have Aspen Spirit Courage showing up next. So obviously that, you know, both of those scenarios I just spoke about would certainly take quite a bit of courage to get through. But interesting, what I heard when this card popped out was something is actually, you know, something that was kind of a difficult experience is actually about to have a fairy tale ending. So there's something that maybe we've been going through, Leo, that is actually about to turn the corner. You're about to turn the corner. And again, look at the difference between the dark on this card and then all the light coming in on this card. You know, there's light in the background here shining on things. And this is ultimately a really beautiful card with a castle and butterflies and lots of golden pretty leaves. And I really feel like this is coming to the other side of this and starting now to see where spirit was taking you, starting to understand, you know, if you were going through this dark night of the soul or somebody close to you was going through this dark night of the soul, you're going to start to be able to see where it was taking you, where it was leading. And it's ultimately a fairy tale ending. It's bringing in something really beautiful. And for those of you that have had to have a lot of courage to do this, it's like a reward for that courage and faith coming in. And then we have Mystic Meadows Sanctuary showing up with the Foggy Bog Patience. And again, that sense of like not being able to see totally where you're being led or where you're going, which may have caused a little bit of like delay or stillness in the situation. But ultimately that's opening up into prosperity with the Beast Spirit, okay? So right now, I feel like what my Leos need to know is that a situation is coming to a better place with this Sanctuary card. A situation that has been difficult or challenging is coming finally into a better space. A space of light, a space of ease, but it's maybe not fully settled in yet with this foggy bog. Maybe you can't totally see it just yet. So energetically, it may be starting to settle in, but in the physical, it hasn't fully manifested itself, and you're still a little lost, or still a little uncertain of exactly where to go, or what's coming next, what direction you're being led. But that is clearing up. It's gonna become clear, and when it does, you're gonna realize that you're getting the honey, right? That this bee's getting the honey. This prosperity is here, and it is coming in. It is arriving, and maybe you haven't been able to see that, or you just weren't sure how what you were being asked by Spirit to do was going to lead you to a better place, that land of milk and honey, and you've just been kind of like in your head about it a little bit, wondering how is this ever going to work out, right? So I do feel it's going to be revealed. So let's jump over to tarot, see if we can get a little bit more detail here. Like I said, I think this applies a little differently to some of you. Those who have been going through that dark night of the soul, you're coming to a better place. Just be patient, because it's not totally clear yet. It's like the fog hasn't totally cleared for you yet, but it is clearing, okay? And you're gonna be in a much better place when it does. So let's jump to tarot. All right, Leo. So there's definitely this energy of like coming to the other side of something, of overcoming what I feel like has been a tumultuous time or a challenging time, and really reaching the other side of that difficulty. We have the Six of Fire, victory, willpower, overcoming situations, followed by the Tower. Ultimately, I feel like this already happened, or is in the process of closing out for you guys. And I'm really pulled to the hourglass on this card, and I do feel like it's been sort of a long time in process. So this may have been a little bit of a tower that was drug out, or just felt like a storm that was sort of lasting for a while and just wasn't quite letting up. And now it's finally time to let go. This also, we have a Six of Cups kind of showing up after that. So for some of you, this may have been something from the past that you've been sort of working through and processing. It's just been taking a little bit of time to get to the other side of it, or to work through it. And there may have been a bit of acceptance that had to happen, you know, to help you get there. A little bit of faith being built in the process, of almost like learning endurance. I'm hearing some of you were learning endurance, how to continue to have faith and believe that ultimately you will prosper and things will turn out well, even when you're having to go through maybe a long dark period, you know, or where maybe you have repeated difficult situations happening to you or around you that challenge or test that faith and trust in the universe. And we have underneath that the Eight of Earth, which is the Eight of Pentacles, with the Knight of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Moon. And I really feel like some of you have just been working really hard to get to something, to some kind of a goal. You've been trying to create some sort of a new adventure for yourself, or trying to build something good, like get yourself on a better path here. And it is coming, but I feel like maybe the way in which it was going to show up was being veiled by the moon. You know, I had that sense with that starry night too, and the foggy bog of like not, like something's been hidden from your view. Like Spirit hasn't put all their cards on the table for you guys. Like you really had to trust and have faith and believe in where you were being led without being able to know it for sure. And for some of you, maybe you're intuitive, you're kind of not used to having that like third eye blocked a little bit. So this may have been frustrating or just a challenging experience, which ultimately was being done, I feel, to help build your trust and your faith in the divine and in the light, to know that the light always comes back in, that the light always wins. You know, the moon is also a card in traditional tarot. It's not so much in this one, you don't see it, but usually one dog is white, one dog is black. It's the battle of the light against the shadow, the darkness and the light, you know, battling it out. And it can speak to that yin and yang energy within ourselves of kind of, you know, taking a tussle with our own shadow energy a little bit. And I feel like maybe you guys were tested or put to the test a bit with this situation that you've been going through. Ultimately, you're coming to the other side. And I feel like there is compensation, you know, with this Six of Earth. Like, I feel like there is compensation. We have the prosperity card here. So it's going to be worth your while. Whatever you've had to wait for, whatever you've been going through that feels like it's just been drawing out, it's going to be worth your while in the end. And then we have underneath of all of that, the Four of Earth and the Five of Earth. Both of these cards can talk about financial insecurity or money concerns. One is a little bit more about feeling like they need to conserve money or to be a little bit more thrifty with our money, whereas the other is just like flat out feeling like there just isn't enough, being stuck in sort of a lack, you know, or worry about having enough money. And we have those followed by the Sun. So for those of you that this centers around maybe something more physical, like a home or your finances that were in question, or that you've just been kind of going through it, know that that is coming to a better place. We have the Sun showing up here. We have that Six of Earth, which is like generosity, windfall, receiving what you need. And maybe it's coming in a way you didn't quite expect or see, but it is here. And we have that prosperity card with the oracle cards, right? The milk and honey is here, it's coming, but maybe not in the way you expected, or it's showing up in a way that you couldn't have been prepared for, perhaps. So let's pull a few more cards for this. This is kind of an interesting reading. I definitely feel like some of you have been put to the test, like you had to really trust the path that you were following. That it was leading you somewhere good, okay? That you really had to trust it and really had to persevere here to get there. Like I said, somebody's going from, this lost sort of space or dark night of the soul space into fairy tale ending kind of energy. So it's a turnaround that is occurring here. Okay. Yeah, some of you, I feel like this was really a test of faith. You really struggled maybe going through this process, whatever it was. And I feel like you're about to get good news, or you're about to receive notice or news or a sign of some kind that lets you know that you're on the right track and that everything's gonna be okay. Okay, we have the Hermit and the Star, and I really feel like this is shining that light of hope back into your life, allowing you to find your hope once again, and to find your way forward. And this is, whatever this is that's coming in, this message or this news, it's going to really change your perspective on some things that have been happening. I'm being pulled to the fact that we have the hourglass showing up again, and this time it's on its side. So, we had that hourglass in the Tower that I was being drawn to earlier, but in the upright position there. And it's like the jig is up. It's time now, like everything comes into balance. And that is like going to show you why you had to go through this, I feel like, or it's going to make more sense of the whole situation, why this Tower had to happen, or why these things had to go on the way that they did. And then that's followed by the High Priestess. And there we do have that black and white with the pillars, right? With the High Priestess card. There's a white dove and a black dove on that card as well. And so again, that yin yang reference. And then we have the Nine of Water, the Nine of Cups, fulfillment of wishes, angelic support, kind of coming in. There's also a sense of wonderment with that card again, of magic again. And I kind of got that earlier with that acceptance card, a little bit of like magic being worked behind the scenes on your behalf, but maybe you haven't been able to see it. Okay, so you might have been distracted by the Tower or distracted by some things that were going on that were challenging, but in the background there's been this hopeful, positive energy brewing here all along. And you know, the dark night of the soul, while it is difficult to go through, is always happening for the highest good. It happens to lead us to a more spiritual path, to lead us into a better place in our lives where we have trust and we have faith, and where ultimately good things can come back in. So the dark night, as hard as it is actually a turning point in life that takes us from one state into another. It allows us to look at our shadows so that we can move past them. We did have the Six of Cups here too. So for some of you, this may have been being taken back through a situation from the past in order to find some final healing and resolution so that you could finally move on and put it to bed, and really and truly put it to bed, put it behind you. And maybe it sucked and it didn't make sense while it was happening, but it's going to make more sense now. And it's like aha moment kind of coming in with this news, this revelation that is on its way to you. And I do feel like this helps restore faith in your own intuitive abilities as well. Because like I said, some of you, I was getting this sense of your third eye being intentionally blocked by spirit, almost like you're intuitive, but there's something you haven't been able to see, and it's driving you like freaking bonkers that you can't see it. You can't see the outcome, you can't see the future, and it's because you weren't supposed to. So spirit blocked you, but you were maybe being asked to take some steps. So you were following, I feel like a lot of you were following some intuition without really knowing where it was leading you. And now you're going to know why. There's like a grand reveal, and there is information being revealed, and you're going to understand and see that you were right all along. You were right, and you were being led correctly through this situation. Let's just pull a couple more cards for my Leos. What else does Leo need to know about this spirit? Okay. Yeah, I kind of was getting this earlier, you know, and it showed up with the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles too. And we have the Eight of Swords, which is like a stuck energy or blocked energy. And then we have the Two of Earth, balance, and the Four of Fire, which is home. For some of you, this may have to do with a house, like a physical house, of like not being able to see the future, not being able to see where a situation was going or what was going to happen with your home or your house. And now that's going to become more clear or apparent. And maybe you were being blocked, like you weren't able to make a move on it. Maybe you weren't sure if you were selling or not, and you couldn't move forward with that, or some other things were being tabled because you weren't really sure a decision wasn't being made. But there's a reason that was stagnated, and I do feel like spirit is behind this, that you were being blocked for your highest good, for your own good, and you're going to be shown why soon. It's time for the reveal to happen, so you're gonna learn why. And ultimately, you were being blocked. I feel like with this Two of Earth, you were being blocked because you had to wait for something else to come into balance. Something had to come back into balance first before you could move forward. And as I'm looking at this card, I'm getting that like image from like cartoons where like the character slips on a banana peel and has to like start over. It's like they were trying to keep you from making a silly mistake or an error that could have meant you had to start all back over again. And so you were sort of put on pause. And again, being blocked, I got that third eye being blocked earlier, right? So for some of you, this was your intuition was being blocked so that you wouldn't mess something up or wouldn't be tempted to intervene in a situation that you were not meant to or weren't supposed to mess up, because something needed to find its own way into balance. And ultimately, when it does, it leads to something more solid. It leads to contentment and happiness, peacefulness. You know, this card is like the card of joy in the home, and it can be a card of marriage. So for some, there could be, you know, there's 11/11 energy to this too, this card. So for some of you, there could be that there was a twin flame union being worked behind the scenes, or something coming together around home or family that needed to happen a certain way. And so you maybe couldn't quite see that, and maybe you have had to be sort of patient and wait things out. And while that's frustrating when you aren't sure what's going on, you're about to be let in on the secret, I feel. I feel like it's about to be revealed to you. Yeah, it's coming to an end. Whatever the situation is, it's wrapping up. I feel like you're about to be done. So if you are going through that dark night of the soul or have been, know that it's coming to an end. Or if this was somebody close to you, it is about to wrap. It's ready to be done. The light is coming in. Things are going to be revealed, and you're going to be able to move forward once again. And ultimately in a better position. You know, there's a lot of cards of prosperity and of financial stability coming back into a situation here. Maybe you had to invest in something without knowing the outcome, what it was going to be. So you made a big investment in something and weren't really sure where it was leading you, but ultimately it's leading you in a better direction. And I think what is coming to an end, I feel like these next two cards are kind of clarifying the cycle that is ending, is the confusion and, you know, kind of worry and conflict about where is this leading me? Where is spirit taking me? Where is this going ultimately? And I can't see the path, and it's really frustrating. You have been going the right way all along. That's kind of what I'm getting from Spirit. Like, you've been being guided in the right direction. If you were being locked, it wasn't an accident. It was on purpose. It was being led by God, and ultimately leading you somewhere better. Let me pull two more cards. All right, asked what is next, and I got the Page of Air, and I heard clarity. This is like cutting through the BS, okay? So something's going to make itself known. And then we have the Magician. And I really feel like this is everything coming together, coalescing. It's like all the pieces finally making sense, everything finally landing the way that it needs to land, everything manifesting, ultimately, I feel, for the highest good for everyone involved. So all these like little pieces that haven't made sense, that you've been maybe picking up on about a situation, but it doesn't make any sense. It's like finally it's all going to come together. You're going to have the whole picture, the whole puzzle, and it will make sense. So what you're being asked to do right now, Leo, is to trust. If you're still, I do feel like most of you are still in this energy a little bit where you don't see it yet. You are being asked to continue to be faithful and to continue to trust, and know that what's on the other side is ultimately this fairy tale ending. This situation is going to have a really happy ending, and it is leading to financial prosperity and abundance and financial security. So if you had to take a risk or a gamble with something around finances or home, and you just haven't been sure, maybe you couldn't see yet where it was leading you or where it was going to go, you're about to find out, and you're about to see that it's going to pay off. That gamble paying off, okay, to your benefit, I feel. Or, you know, if this is somebody else connected to you that you're getting this reading for their benefit, ultimately. And I think that's really, this reading feels complete to me. I feel like you guys are coming to the other side of what has been kind of a really long, dark period. And that could be, you know, darkness because it was difficult or challenging. It can also be dark that was difficult and challenging only because you were in the dark, like being kept in the dark about something important that is now about to be revealed to you. And when it is, it's like you're gonna understand it in a whole new way, but ultimately know that this information was being hidden from your view for the highest and best good. Sometimes if we know too much, we meddle. You know, if we know too much, then we are tempted to stick our fingers into a situation and tamper with it and mess with it, and we might mess it up. And so Spirit doesn't let us do that. They don't give us enough information to make a mess of things. They keep us in the dark on purpose. So in this situation, I feel like if that was you, that it was ultimately for the highest good that something was being hidden from your view, and it is going to be revealed, and you will understand when it is. It's going to be like a dream come true, a wish come true, and you're really going to be pleasantly surprised, I feel like, with how everything lands now and how all the pieces come together and make this beautiful, perfect puzzle in the end. All right, Leo, take care. Those are your messages. Bye, guys.